couple I found in the Olympic National Park shouldn't have been alive. Not after 3 weeks missing in the Hoh Rainforest in November. But there they were, walking out of the tree line, holding hands, looking exactly as they had the day they disappeared, except for their eyes. Their eyes were all wrong. I was working my 5th season as a backcountry ranger in 2022. November isn't tourist season in the Olympics. The rain is relentless, the trails are muddy nightmares, and the fog can get so thick you can't see 10 feet ahead. That's why when Mark and Jennifer Chen didn't return from their day hike on November 3rd, we assumed the worst. The search had been called off after 2 weeks. The Hoh Rainforest is a temperate jungle. If you get lost off trail, the undergrowth swallows you whole. The constant rain washes away tracks within hours. We'd found Mark's baseball cap near the Hall of Mosses trail, but nothing else. Their families had already started making funeral arrangements. I was doing a routine trail check on November 24th, the day before Thanksgiving, when I saw them. They were walking down the Spruce Nature Trail, holding hands, taking casual steps like they were on a Sunday stroll. Their clothes, the same hiking gear they'd been wearing when they disappeared, were pristine. No mud, no tears, no signs of 3 weeks in one of the wettest places in North America. "Mark? Jennifer?" I called out, not quite believing what I was seeing. They stopped and turned to me in perfect unison, their movements synchronized like dancers. "Hello," they said together, their voices harmonizing in a way that made my skin crawl. I radioed base immediately, trying to keep my voice professional as I reported finding the missing hikers. Then I approached them slowly. "Are you two okay? Everyone's been looking for you. Your families are worried sick." They tilted their heads, again in perfect unison, and Jennifer spoke, though Mark's lips moved silently along with her words. "We got lost, but we're fine now. We found the right path." Their eyes were what really unsettled me. The irises seemed to shift color in the dim forest light, green to brown to something else, something that didn't have a name. And they never blinked, not once in the entire time I was watching them. I convinced them to let me walk them back to the visitor center. During the 40-minute hike, they answered my questions, but always in that strange, synchronized way. They said they'd sheltered in a cave, that they'd found water and edible plants, that they'd kept warm by staying close together. Logical answers. Too logical. Rehearsed. They knew things they shouldn't have known. Jennifer mentioned my daughter's name. I'd never told them I had a daughter. Mark described the scar on my shoulder from a climbing accident, hidden under my uniform. When I asked how they knew these things, they just smiled and said, "The forest shows you everything if you listen." At the visitor center, the medical team found nothing wrong with them. Perfect health. No signs of exposure, dehydration, or malnutrition. The FBI even got involved, thinking it might be some kind of hoax. But Mark and Jennifer's stories never wavered. They'd been lost, they'd survived, they'd found their way back. Simple as that. But here's what the official reports didn't include. Every electronic device at the visitor center malfunctioned when they were there. Computers crashed, phones died, even the battery-powered emergency radios went static. The temperature in the building dropped 15 degrees, and in the security footage, which we only discovered later, Mark and Jennifer's images were distorted, like looking at them through water. Their families took them home to Seattle. I checked in a few weeks later, told myself I was just being thorough. Mark's sister told me they were doing fine, but they'd changed. They spent all their time together, sitting in their backyard, facing the Olympics. They'd quit their jobs. They didn't sleep. She'd checked on them multiple times during the night and found them standing at the window, holding hands, staring at the mountains. 3 months later, they disappeared again. Left their house in the middle of the night, taking nothing with them. Their families called me, begging for help, but I knew they were gone. The Olympic National Park records over 700,000 acres of wilderness. If something in that forest wanted them back, we'd never find them. But I've seen them since. Other rangers have too, though most won't admit it. Always in peripheral vision, always just off the trail. A couple walking hand in hand through impossible terrain, up vertical cliffs, across raging rivers, through solid trees, always heading deeper into the forest, always synchronized.
Last month, a new missing persons case came across my desk. A young couple, day hiking the Hoh River Trail. Been missing for 5 days. The search teams are optimistic. The weather has been mild, they're experienced hikers. But I've seen their photos, and they have that same look Mark and Jennifer had in their engagement pictures. That same spark of curiosity that takes you off the marked trails. I wanted to warn the search teams about what they might find. But how do you explain that sometimes the forest doesn't take people? Sometimes it changes them, fills them with something else, and sends them back as ambassadors for something we're not meant to understand. I put in my resignation yesterday. 20 years of rangering is enough. I'm moving to Arizona, about as far from the temperate rainforest as I can get. Somewhere with no fog, no ancient trees, no couples walking in perfect synchronization through impossible spaces.
But sometimes at night, I dream I'm back on the Spruce Trail, and in the dream, I see them, Mark and Jennifer, and now dozens of others, all walking hand in hand in a long chain through the forest. They turn to me in unison and speak with one voice. "We found the right path. Come with us." I wake up with dirt under my fingernails and moss in my hair, even though I locked all my doors and windows. I wake up closer to the forest than when I went to sleep, even though I'm 1,000 miles away. The Olympics don't forget, and I'm terrified that one morning I'll wake up walking hand in hand with someone I've never met, heading back to the Hoh Rainforest, finally ready to find the right path.